Hey everyone, Atheris here with Sideshow's Apocalypse. A little late on doing a review on this piece. I know I got it about a month ago, but been kind of busy and didn't have time to do a review on it. Plus, I was going back and forth with Sideshow about getting a replacement and or sending it back for a refund. Sideshow decided not to send out replacements for this because of the plethora of issues this piece is having and many people complaining. So they offered me a $65 credit and or a replacement cannon, which I'll go over in a second what the issue was with that. But I don't know if you can see from here, it doesn't really fit in his arm very well. Neither does one of the hoses in the back of his shoulder area. So overall, it's a great sculpt. There's nothing wrong with the sculpt. I love it, and it's one of my most anticipated pieces from or shown at San Diego Comic-Con last year. And after all this wait and all this time, we finally get it in hand, and it turns out to be a lemon. Again, not the sculpt, but the paint quality and just the attention to detail is just not there. For $600, I don't know what the hell happened with this thing, or who they got to paint it and what factory, but this seemed like a complete rush job. Like, it looks good from a distance, as you guys can see, and that's the sculpt basically. That's how well the sculpt is. And but as soon as you get in close, which I'm going to show you, leaves a lot to be desired. I could say that. Here's the arm, if you can see that, and a lot of people had this issue right here. I don't know what the hell happened with his arm, or why everybody was getting the same consistent issue with a scratch just right over here. But mine has it. Same thing with this gappage here. I don't know what's plugging the hole in there, either paint or something. But it doesn't go in any further than that, which is, for a $600 statue, this ain't quality. This is, I don't know what the hell this is. You can see how bad that looks from the back too. And just the paint accuracy. Like, look at the paint overlay on like the gray and the gray on the lighter gray. And it's all over. It's just, it's not cool at all. And this is the hose right here. This one right here, if you can see, that doesn't go in all the way. I've pushed as hard as I can, and that thing will not go any further than where it is. I'm thinking because that hole is plugged with paint, but it's not cool for $600. People were even having issues with these hoses as well. I mean, these hoses feel really cheap too, and I mean, that's fine. I'm not gonna nitpick about what they use for hose, as long as it, gets the job done and making it look like the prototype. That's fine. But these are just sprayed hoses, like it's sprayed silver, and some people were having issues when you bend them, because these are posable and bendable. That the paint, the silver on the hosing, is cracking off. So, the quality of paints that they're using is clearly not up to par. If you can see here in his bicep, like a lot of this, like this unfinished stuff, like these cracks and scrapes everywhere. Here too, you got some bleeding of the blue onto the gray. Like, very sloppy paint work. Same, especially his legs. This looks the worst when you get up close. You can see, like, look at that. You got darker gray on the lighter gray and the lighter gray on the darker gray. It's just, it looks extremely sloppy. And I had high hopes for this. I was, it looked like a very simple paint job. I mean, you only got a couple colors here. You got gray, blue, and some metallics over here, and the darker blues in the cannon. But I don't know, man. They couldn't pull it off. Like, it's and this originally, the way it was shown on his chest, this blue here was a much darker blue from what I recall when they showed it at San Diego. And this just looks like a washed out, really dull blue. The The only thing I can say that really turned out well was the paint job on the head. If you can see here, and I'll take this out. The head turned out pretty well. Let me focus. Focus, there we go. So that's not bad. The only complaint I actually have with the head itself, though, is it's light as hell. This thing feels like it's made out of balsa wood. Like it feels cheap. It feels so cheap. And now they got this plastic peg in the bottom here. I don't know if that's a magnet in there or not. But again, it feels extremely cheap. The whole statue itself is not very heavy either. It's obviously hollow. The base is the heaviest part, and that's because it's solid polystone. I love the design. I love like, you know, the sculpt on this is fantastic, but geez, like they totally dropped the ball on the paint application. You can even see, like, you can kind of see on his chest here, on his pecs, the rub marks from the styrofoam in the box. So you got some shinier areas and then you got dull areas, and it ruins the effect because your eyes immediately go to these parts, you know? Same thing with the Canon. And what kind of pissed me off about this too is that when I got delivery of the box itself, normally the art box is wrapped in a plastic bag to protect against water damage. And sure enough, the one time that I get a box, I go pick it up at FedEx, and I don't know what the hell FedEx did with it, but it came to me soaked. And if you've seen some of the pictures I posted on the forums, the box was soaked on one side. So that water penetrated the brown shipper box and went right down to the art box and soaked that. So now we got some bleeding colors on the art box too. And you know, a plastic bag, which they usually include on all their pieces, would have prevented that. So I have no idea why these didn't even come with plastic bags to wrap the art boxes in. It makes no sense. Like, the factory that they got here to paint this guy totally dropped the ball, like big time. Even when I unboxed it, like, I was really not impressed when I took the base out of the box and the sticker on the bottom of the base just fell right off the base. And this has been a problem with a lot of pieces people have been having, or people have been having issues with, is that it doesn't even stick. And it's sticky. It's not that it's not, it's really tacky. Like, I can, look at that. It'll stay. It doesn't stick to the bottom of the base. And I've pressed it down a few times and it just will not stay. So I don't know if there's like a greasy film at the bottom of the base, but it's unfortunate, man. It doesn't say quality at all to me. Same thing with the switch out parts. I mean, he's got a switch out cannon here in his arm, and I'll switch that out in a second, but a lot of people were having issues where these switch out parts and his chainsaw, the chainsaw was the exclusive, were coming with rust issues on the pins, and I didn't actually look at mine until today to see if mine had the same issue. Focus. But it does, you can see it right here. Okay. I want this focus. Anyway, if you can kind of make it out there, right there, we got rusting on the pins. There we go. We got rusting on the pins. Same thing with the Canon. I think had a bit of rusting on it too in the pin. And this is a very cheap system of installing switch out parts. Normally, Sideshow uses a magnet. It has this shape, and you have a magnet inserted in it. But in this case, we just have like these really cheap, obviously not stainless steel pins that are rusting away, and it just looks bad. You know, I hate to see what this is going to look like in a few years. So I'll show you how this switches out. And again, it's very hard to get them out. Again, because I think there's a lot of paint in the hole there. So this is the exclusive. And it goes in this way. A lot of people, I've seen pictures, they keep putting a chainsaw in this way, but it's actually this way. And then you gotta kind of find the hole. It goes in like that. I personally like the Canon more, to be honest, because it's, you know, it's power. I've usually seen them in the cartoons and comics with a Canon, not a chainsaw, but it's, you know, it's cool either way. Overall, though, it's just not an overwhelming piece to receive it in this condition, and so I contacted Sideshow, showed them the issues, and apparently a lot of people have been contacting them about replacements, and a lot of people have been having the same issues as I am. And Sideshow doesn't have any replacements for most of these people for these paint applications and rust issues on the pins and stuff like that, or the arms not fitting or anything like that. So unless it's completely broken and you've lost an arm in shipment or something, that's the only time they'll send you a replacement. In my case, they didn't offer me a replacement. They offered me a $65 credit and possibly a replacement Canon, because their reasoning is all the replacements look exactly like the one I got. So it's not a, you know, it's not an issue kind of confined to just me here. It's a widespread problem. So, and they know that, so they're not going to be sending out replacements to people unless it's serious. But for this kind of money, I'm not patient enough to go through the, or be bought off anyway, for a $65 credit. This is a $600 statue. I live in Canada. By the time you pay shipping and customs and all that stuff, this thing's closer to like $800. So totally not worth it for me. You know, I have pieces in my collection like Blitzway's Bruce Lee. It's a 1/3 scale piece. Real wood base, amazing attention to detail for $600. Same price, and I don't know what the hell this is, but it's not on par with the prices that they're charging. So I told Sideshow I don't want any credits, I don't want any replacement Canons, I just want a refund, so it's going back for a refund. They made me wait 2 weeks to figure out. They were actually going to pass it off to a local store near me to see if they wanted to buy it, which they would then in turn sell to somebody else to take as a defective piece. I don't know. But before they would actually refund me any money, but they couldn't find anybody, so they got back to me the other day and said just destroy the piece. And that's what I'm going to do. So I just want to make this quick video before I do that and show you guys. Unfortunately, this won't be staying in my collection. Oh well. Beautiful piece though, I mean beautiful sculpt. But it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. Anyway, we'll see what they show at San Diego Comic-Con in a week. Hopefully they have some better things. I got Gladiator Hulk showing up soon. Hopefully that makes up for this. And it wasn't painted in the same factory, I hope. But to the guys out there that had the same problems, sorry you guys had the same problems. I know you're probably anticipating this piece as much as I was. But what are you going to do? It's Sideshow, hit and miss. So, anyway, thanks for looking. And I'll talk to you guys later. I got Sauron in about a month ago as well. I got to do a review on him next. So look for that. And I'll see you guys back here then. Take care.